Interesting hand. And Snowy is going to tell us what it thinks. I have king 9. Snowy thinks I should fold at this point on the king 9 on the button. And I think Snowy is mostly right. But I choose to punish the limper, this limper here. Either cold call from the small blind, the flop comes 2 hearts and a queen. I get a check, and at this point Snowy thinks I should bet the pot. Either check or bet the pot. 34% bet the pot. And a pot-sized bet would have gotten this through, I think. Unless they just have a queen. But I'm the one who's more likely to have a queen. Or have this board crushed. Well. So, at this point I only bet $3. As a cheap bluff, and the guy with hearts calls. He's got hearts, so he calls. So Snowy wants a full-size pot bet. Instead I bet $3, and it's a call or a raise, quarter-sized raise for the king 9, which a raise would have worked on me. Raise quarter-sized pot to 616, so basically a click back, but he calls. 76% call. So he's right there. We get equity, and the question I needed to know is, what do I do with the equity? Oh, okay, the right move is to check, huh? Alright, so I check, and the idea is if I make the spade on the river, then I bet like a bluff. So yeah, so Snowy recommends checking, which I do check by this point. And the river comes an ace. So we go check check on the Snowy. Oh, and Snowy wants the king 9 to do a quarter pot bet. Quarter pot. I wonder what that would do. I guess they're not expecting that I would have a backdoor flush draw. So we're gonna have to do a split tree. We're gonna have to copy the scenario. So first we're gonna do first the bet, and we'll see if it's a call. I think it's a call on my end on the button. Let's click bet quarter pot on the player 4 king 9, and it's a call. Oh, okay. No, it wanted me to do the quarter pot bet, and it wants the king 9 to call. So it wasn't a check for player 1 on the button, which was me. It wants me to do a, so it wasn't a check here. This right here was not a check. on the 8, I should bet quarter pot. Huh. And then if I bet quarter pot, the king knight calls. And river is an ace that missed all the flush draws. But the ace is much better for my range, so I should bluff. Oh, no. It wants a check. Okay, since I can see the check since player 4 called the quarter pot bet on the turn. So let's check and see what if I didn't bet the turn. Let's copy that scenario. And let's have player 4 check, and player 1 also checks, even though Snow is saying to do a quarter pot bet right there since player 4 checked. But as played on the actual hand, I checked, so let's check. And then let's see what happens on the ace. If ace should be a lot more in my range. Oh, so it wants a 2x pot size bet. It wants this. So an ace. So it's repping a set of 2s or trip deuces on the missed flush draw. That's fascinating. But player 4 does check in reality, but interesting that there's a two pot bet, and then it doesn't want me to rep the ace as player 1. That's interesting. So we're gonna have to come back to this hand. I have a patient right now. So as played, let's take a look. As played, I should have folded the pre-flop. Should have folded here, but I raise. I should bet pot sized to rep the queen. I should bet quarter to continue betting, and I should not rep the ace when he checks, because I guess I have showdown value. Interesting on the river. So it's Snowing saying if check to me, I should check back on the river. But if it checked to me on the turn, I should bet quarter pot to continue the story, since he did check the turn on the eight of spade. But if he called, yeah, he probably doesn't have a queen. But betting quarter sized, he would probably call. So that's all interesting. I'm gonna have to look at this hand some more later.